Hello everyone, welcome to my home. Today is a lovely Friday, and guess what we're here to talk about? Hair. But today is something different. I have a guest star, my brother. So let's bring him on in and give him a great big welcome.
I guess I don't get no applause for coming in no crowd, but okay.
Okay, what's your name?
My name is Devin Grubbs.
Okay, that's great. So we're here to talk about hair, of course, natural hair.
Okay.
And let's just say you're out on the town, you walking down the street, and you see a woman with a fro, with some dreads, you know, any natural hairstyle.
With all that or just...
No. Any natural hairstyle. And then you see a woman with a perm, you know, straight look. Now, what are your impressions on that woman with the fro?
So am I mainly just looking at their hair as far as being attracted to them?
You can say that. I mean, what do you feel? What is that feeling that you have when you see an African American woman with, you know, big hair, with a fro, with dreadlocks, with...
I'm not me personally. I'm not a big fan of a woman with a fro, but I have seen some sexy women out there with fros. It all depends on how you wear it and how they carry themselves, actually. You know, as they wear it, not just necessarily they look, but it has to fit the actual person, because everybody don't have the right hair for the right hairstyle.
Right. But do you understand the real difference between permed hair and natural hair?
I can initially tell the difference. I have to take a closer look at it, because definitely I'm not a hair guy, as you can tell. But I do know from my experience, I have nothing but sisters, so permed hair is a lot more straighter than natural hair. I definitely know that.
Okay, so would you ever date a woman with natural hair? Would you approach her?
Like I said, it's definitely hair is not the first thing I look at when I am approaching a woman. But if I had to solely depend my looks and, you know, on someone's hair, then I would definitely look for a woman with straight hair first, because I prefer straight hair. But I'm not taking anything away from the woman with natural hair also.
Oh, that's an interesting statement right there. So why do you think women go natural? Why do you think that they lean towards that and stop getting their hair permed?
Like I said, from my experience and what I've known, the women that I dated and seen around, friends and everything, I know women like natural hair mainly because they don't have to put that many chemicals, or, you know, because I do know perm messes up your hair. You know, some women breaks their hair apart, or hair starts falling out. Because I do know heat destroys hair. That's why a lot of women don't like to get you know, going on the dryer, for instance, when they get their hair done.
So what you're saying is you prefer to have a woman with unhealthy hair and not healthy hair?
No, I want a woman with healthy hair. You know, like I said, I prefer women with nice straight hair as perm hair would be my first suggestion. But like I said, I don't discriminate at all, but I do prefer women with long, lengthy, straight hair.
Interesting. What do you think about your kids? You have kids, right?
Yes, I have two little girls, Madison and Kyla.
Right. Okay. And how do you feel about giving them perms? Are you going to give your...
Well, at that particular age, I feel that kids doesn't need, you know, perms. I think that their hair should always be natural, because it gives it time to actually grow out and develop. I feel that a lot of women that grow up and the hair doesn't grow as lengthy as most women is because, this is my personal opinion, that they, as a young kid, their parents or whoever done their hair was always packing a lot of grease and always putting a lot of stuff in that's not giving their hair follicles a chance to breathe and, you know, get to the natural air. But like I said, that's my personal opinion. I don't think my girls actually depending on, obviously depending on their mother also. But me personally, I say when they get of age, they can, then they let them decide if they want their hair permed or not.
But did you know that natural hair, it requires a lot of moisture? It can't be dry because that's what causes breakage.
Yeah, I do.
Did you know that?
Yeah, I do know that. And when I actually mean like natural, as far as like I prefer, I'm not, like I said, I don't do hair, but I prefer, just from things I've known, the knowledge that I know, a spray, like as a spray, other than like thick grease for my kids.
Right. And
Take your time.
So yeah,
definitely, yeah.
So how do you feel about me, your own sister, going natural?
A lot of times, and I wake up in the morning and I get up, when I'm over, and I see you in the house. Sometimes you're definitely not something I would like to get up and look at in the morning, first sake. That's why a lot of times I wait till you leave the house before I come over, sometimes like that. But sometimes your hair is when it's combed and done, you whipped up pretty good. It's just the other times, I don't know if you actually go out like that, or I wouldn't. I wouldn't want you to go out like that, you being my sister and all. But yeah, personally, like for instance, your hair now is pretty decent, and I know that you don't normally do nothing to your hair. Well, as far as as getting it done, permanent and stuff. So
you do know this is a weave, right?
Oh, that's a weave. Well, guess you can retract that last statement, which proves my point further as people having straight hair and natural hair, But I have noticed a lot of women wear wigs because they don't want to necessarily mess up their natural hair.
That's called protective styling.
Protective styling.
Yes.
There it is.
Yes.
I said that right, protective styling.
Protective styling,
okay.
to protect our hair, while we're trying to get it healthy and whatnot.
Okay.